On the 12th day of Beermas, beer Santa gave to me 12 brand new pint glasses, 11 homebrewers bottling, 10 local crafties, 9 drunkards dancing, 8 landlords tapping, 7 hops a hopping, 6 brewers brewing, 5 golden ales, 4 English bitters, 3 wheat beers, 2 IPAs, and a porter with a pork pie. It's beer o'clock, and as the days lurch ever closer to Christmas, we bring you the final episode of the Beer O'Clock Show for 2013 and Season 3. My name is Mark, and joining me, stuck halfway down a chimney in a too small Santa suit, shouting, "He's alright, he's just getting himself sorted," is my beer mentor and a jolly old fellow, Steve. Hello, Steve.
Ho, ho, ho. Hello, Mark. How are you doing?
I'm being a naughty boy.
Have you really?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm good. I've been an incredibly naughty boy as well. But other than that, I've pretty much fully recovered from the weekend's activities now.
Oh, jolly good. We'll get to that in about 15 seconds. But just to reiterate, this is our final episode for the year. It's been a long year. And it's the final episode for Season 3. And it's been an eventful season. Beer Crawl on the weekend. We had a Crimbo Crawl. A little 5-pub tour around London, over the overground, although we ended up walking most of it. Steve,
Yeah.
why don't you give us a little recap of Saturday's activities?
It was a great day. It was nice to meet some old friends again, and also nice to meet some new faces as well. And we'll give everyone a bit of a shout in a while. But yeah, it was good. We, as the best laid plans and all of that, we made it to 3 of the 5 pubs on the route. Well, the majority of us made it to 3 of the 5 pubs on the route, and then myself and just one of our guests continued on to the Far East and ended up in Crate. Asked me what I drank in there. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't remember what I had drunk in there. I just remember from looking on Twitter on Sunday morning, there was some serious fallout from Saturday's drinking activities. There were a lot of sore heads on Sunday.
There were. Mine were not one of them, because part of the course, I went home early.
Hey.
Oh, dearie me. Yeah, so it was a good weekend. We did record some clips. We had a variety of people come in for it. We had Chris and Emma from Crema, old friends there. We had Rich from Beer for the Year. We had Daz Oakley, who's on Twitter, who's a home brewer. And we had Doody, and his lovely girlfriend Chloe came all the way down from Scotland to have some beers with us. And we've got a little clip here from Doody, from our second stop for the tour.
It was second stop.
On the Camden Town Brewery. Very nice little pub they've got there. I've not been there before. And some fine beers as well. But here's a little clip from Doody on what he's drinking. Where are we? What are you drinking? And what do you think?
I'm drinking a Camden Ink Stout, and it kind of tastes like Guinness, but craft.
Craft, not crap. Right, got you. There we go.
It's firmly cemented the number 1 fan status now.
Absolutely.
I think that the guy travelled down from Scotland to come on a pub crawl around London. He's untouchable, I think, in that spot at the moment.
Staff couldn't even come up from Brighton, for God's sake.
I know.
It's a direct
40
train.
minutes on a train. 40 minutes from Brighton.
Come on, Staff, pick up your game, mate.
I don't even think he listens anymore.
No.
I think we're a long distant memory of his now.
He's probably not allowed to have audio on in the house anymore. Shh. Now that he's married. Oh, we've got a few more clips to have from the weekend throughout the episode today. Anything else you want to say about the Crimbo Crawl?
No, as I say, it was just good to, again, just to meet up with people, and it's nice to know that there are people out there that are supporting what we're doing, and that actually want to come out and meet us and meet other like-minded people and just drink good beer. And for me, that's really what it was all about. It was connecting with Daz and Rich and Johnny as well, from Craft Beer Channel. All came out and had a good drink with us, and it was most enjoyable.
Yeah. So what was your highlight beer from the weekend, if you can remember?
I think if I was going with one that I can remember what it actually tasted like, and remember what it was where it was that I tried it, it was probably the Camden Town Triple that they've only just released,
Okay,
which was
yeah.
an 8.8% Belgian style triple.
Very Belgian-y.
Very Belgian-y, I think was the coin the phrase that you coined.
No, Emma
Not
coined
the,
that.
not
from
the
Cremor.
coin that you phrased. But it was one that also kind of divided our crowd a little bit, wasn't it? In terms of there were some that really liked it and some that didn't so much like it.
Yeah, indeedy. I was more in the didn't like it camp.
Yeah, and well, I was on the fence, but I think you could probably more than two of them, and it'd be far too sweet.
Yeah.
I think, and that 8.8% would start sneaking up on you as well, I think.
Yeah, I had the Camden Town Pale Ale, which was quite nice. And before that one, we're in the Gospel Oak pub. What was it called?
Southampton Arms.
Southampton Arms. I had a Kipling by Thornbridge, which
Oh,
was
nice.
very nice. I've never had that before, and that was extremely drinkable. I could sit there all night drinking that.
Yeah, and I think you were quite happy to until I mentioned the percentage on that to you as well.
Yeah. I would never have known it. Maybe eventually I would have, but no,
Yeah.
not at that point. Right, okay. Any other beers you've had this week, mate? Of note.
Yes, I did. Just one or three to point out. Actually, I did the Sierra Nevada put out 3 beers called Beer Camp, and these were numbered 93, 94, and 95. So that it must be something that they've been doing for a while. And I don't know whether they're experimental beers or what they are, but I managed to get hold of the 3 of them. There was a standard IPA, there was a Belgian style black IPA, and then there was a red rye IPA as well. And I did all 3 of those, and the standard IPA wasn't very good. I would say probably couldn't even hold a candle to their Pale Ale or even their Torpedo beers that they have. The Belgian style black IPA was lovely. The Belgian yeast in it wasn't too Belgian-y, just sat in the background and allowed the roasted flavour and the hops to come through. But the real winner for me out of those 3 was the red rye one, because it was absolutely lovely. It was a lovely balance of malt flavours, really biscuitiness coming through, balanced with a lovely bitterness that had that slight peppery hint that we got with the Pale Ale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp series. Tempted to keep saying Band Camp there, but it's the Beer Camp series that they've been doing.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
If there was, mate, there's been far too much alcohol in the last 7 days to even try and recount what I might have drunk.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Sorry.
And that segues very, very nicely into your dry January.
It will do.
It will do. I think it's well needed, but just judging by your past week.
Yes,
So
very
tell
much so.
You have a little special thing. You did the dry January this year,
I did.
and you did it last year as well, I think.
No, this was my first year of doing the whole month.
Right, okay. So you did it this year, and you're going to do it again in January, but the difference this time is you're asking people to buy you a pint or
I am.
donate the cost of a pint for charity. Tell us a little bit more.
Indeed, Jess. What I am doing is, as of the 1st of January, I am an official dry athlete. I've got a little wristband and everything. It's quite exciting. I'm signed up to be an official dry athlete, and I'm raising money for cancer research. And basically, what it is that I'm trying to encourage people to buy me a drink to keep me dry. So the idea is that you can donate the cost of a drink, and whatever that is in your mind. I'd really appreciate, without going all too Bob Geldofy about it, I want your money. There's an accent there, look. Really shit one, but yeah, basically the idea is that I'm staying off the booze for the whole month, raising money for cancer research. I've got a target of 250 that I want to get to, and I'm going to front load that with £100 of my own, what I'm going to throw into it, because that's probably what I'd normally spend on a monthly basis on booze. So it's only fair that the money that I take, I'll put into the pot to get it going. But to our loyal legions of fans out there, please, it's a fantastic charity. It's one that I've certainly, it's something that I've been touched by in the past, and you know, I know a lot of us have. But in all seriousness, buy me a pint. That's all I'm asking you to do.
Indeed. So it's Cancer Research UK is the actual charity, right?
It is. Yes.
From this, a great bunch of people. They do a lot of great work and invest in a lot of research around the country. They do, yeah. So, as you said, cancer has touched a lot of people's lives, and I think if everyone can just chip in a £5, you listen to this, we'll hit your target quite easily.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout, actually, mate.
Yeah, so please do. I shall be doing the same when I get paid.
So just let people know how they can donate as well. It will be all over Twitter in January, as you would expect from me. And please don't start giving before the 1st of January, because I'll feel as though I'm cheating you, because the amount that I plan to do between now and the end of the year is certainly going to make up for not drinking in January. But from the 1st of January, you can donate at justgiving.com/beeroclocksteve. Or you can donate by text, by texting BOCS89 to 70070 with the amount that you want to donate. But as I say, keep an eye out on Twitter, keep an eye out on our website. That's how you can donate. But please buy me a pint and keep me dry for the month.
Yes, indeed. Very good, Stephen. I wholeheartedly support you in your dry endeavours. Right, final episode, special beer. Shall we get into our special beer?
Yeah, let's crack this one, because I've been looking forward to this.
I have not, because it looks frightening. It's not as frightening as the one that we finished season 2 on, which was the Unhuman Cannonball, which was something like 2,000% ABV or some shit. I can't remember. Can't quite remember. Maybe not that much. So, but this is a beer which I believe is held in high regard by quite a few people. Am I right?
It indeed is, and it's probably more so the brewery as well that this has come from.
So, it's an 8.7% beer. It's from a little-known brewery who are just starting to get a name for themselves. They're called Stone. They're from America, and what a fine way to finish off our American studded season. It is called Sublimely Self-Righteous Ale, and it is it 1.5 pints?
It says on the side it's a pint, but I'm assuming that's an American pint, and I don't know why there's a difference. But it's a big bottle.
It is. So, I know nothing about this beer. I haven't even read the label yet. Lovely looking bottle though.
It's some stunning artwork on there, isn't there?
Etched paintwork onto it. Okay, let's just open it. You can tell me about it while I drink it.
I've already cracked it, mate, and the aromas that are coming out of the bottle, piney, foresty, piney. Lovely.
Very hoppy.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Right. Just pouring into that glass.
Oh, it's dark.
Yep, again, maybe not as black as last week's beer, because I can actually get a light through this to reveal very, very deep red colour right in the middle there. But it is a black ale, Yes, it's the black IPA again. Beautiful piney aroma
I'm
on
scared.
it.
I'm so scared.
It looks really. I can't wait to dive in, mate. Let's Shall we do this for the last time this series?
Why not? I won't hold you back.
Okay.
Let's get into
Cheers.
it. Cheers.
Let's do it. Whoa. There's instant dryness on the first sip that's just washing again and again. Dry bitterness, roasted, and at the moment, not a lot else.
Well, I'm getting nothing but rolling waves of bitterness at the moment.
It's very, very bitter. It's an exceptionally dry finish as well.
Quite fresh on the palate afterwards, though. The hoppiness is still in my mouth, but I'm getting nice coolness over the palate. It's quite nice.
It's a very, very bittersweet finish to it. On the second swig, there's a little bit more sweetness coming through, and I'm not sure whether I've got this maybe a bit cold or not, because it's just been out in the garden. Bought it in about half an hour ago. Maybe I should have wrapped it in a nice warm blanket. Cradled it in my arms until we started recording. Oh,
Oof.
that's a very
It's quite
bitter
overpowering, I
after.
have to say.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with you at the moment, which is probably a little bit of a disappointment for me, because you might remember a few weeks back when Wetherspoons had their beer festival on. I was raving about the version of this that Stone did with Adnams, which was a slightly different version of this, that was called Supremely Self-Conscious Black Ale. And it was essentially the same recipe, but it was brewed with Adnams, so there was some of the English styling of brewing going in there, and I think that just softened it a little bit, because it made it a much more drinkable beer than this, which at the moment I'm finding to be very, very bitter and not a lot else.
Well, actually, putting aside the overly hoppy nature of this beer, it's very fresh on the palate afterwards. It leaves a very clean mouthfeel for me. I don't seem to have this residue of maltiness or roastedness or anything like that afterwards, which is quite nice. But
Yeah,
that overly hoppy taste, we all know I'm not a huge fan of excessively hopped beers. Personally, I think it's a bit of a cheat. Or a bit of a trend, perhaps. But, I'm probably quite alone in that fact. But the freshness in it afterwards, after a mouthful, is quite nice.
it has. I'll agree somewhat with you there that it's got quite a cleansing effect on the palate.
Yeah.
It washes, and that's probably because there's so much bitterness in there. It just washes through with the bitterness, and doesn't really leave a lot else.
No, but like you said, it's a bit cold at the moment, so let's let it warm up a little bit. And we have another clip from the Crimbo Crawl from the weekend with our two lovely friends from Crimbo Brewery, Chris and Emma. I had a great chat with these guys. I was peppering them with questions about homebrew, because they both have from a scientific background, and so I was asking them loads of questions on the whole science behind it and the techniques and all that kind of stuff, which isn't included in this clip, but I just thought I'd mention that.
Brilliant. Here's what you could have won.
But that was private. That was a lovely private conversation, and they were very nice to indulge me for about 10 minutes talking about various brewing techniques, which I will never, ever, ever partake in, because I simply don't have the space. But here's a clip from them, from the Camden Town Brewery, talking about some beers that they had there. Right, we've got Chris and Emma from Crimbo Brewery. Where are we? What are you drinking, and what do you think of it?
We're at Camden Brewery and we're drinking the Belgian Tripel.
Yeah, but I'm having exactly the same thing.
We are both drinking the same thing because we are the same person. This is probably my favourite Camden beer that I've ever had.
Really? It's Belgian-y.
It's Belgian-y, yeah. That Belgian yeast is really magical. Yeah, there's a lot of character to it. It's 8.8%, but it's gone down very easily.
I find it very easy to drink, but I just get a feeling it could have a bit more sort of yeast character to it. It's just I've had better triples, but it's very drinkable, easy to drink. 8.8%. It doesn't taste like, so yeah, probably one of the best.
Try
candy
it.
beers
It's a
I've
nice
had.
beer.
Right, Steve. Final episode, mate. Do we want to go through our favourite beers from the year, whether we've reviewed them or not? Do you want to whip out your fiver?
Hang on, I'm not whipping anything out at the moment, mate. I went through I went through Untapped and thought the only way that I could really talk about what have been the best beers that I've drunk this year is to look back through Untapped and see which beers I've rated as 5, because surely they're the best beers that I've drunk.
Yeah.
And I've come up with a list of about 12, 10, 11, which is interesting because that means that I've certainly rated 5. Thought at least 11 beers were worth 5 stars this year.
Wow.
I might have to review my rating system for the future. However, once I start cracking down this list, looking at it, you might see why. So, in grand X Factor style, in no particular order, here are my beers that I've rated as 5 stars this year. So, Blue Monkey BG Sips was probably one of the early entries in terms of a 5-star rating, which was way back when I visited some friends in Nottingham. More recently, the Harvestoon Ola Do 30, an absolute stunner of a beer, really smooth, probably one of the greatest black stout type portery type black ale beers that I've ever tasted. I've really got to say that's right up there. The Stone Adnams collaboration that I mentioned a moment ago, the blend that I drank when I was up in the Buxton Tap House of Buxton's New Zealand Axe Edge and their Black Rocks, that was up there as a 5-star. The Fuller's Vintage that we did a few weeks back, that's a 5-star. Then I've got a 4-pack. I've got a 4-pack of Magic Rock in here. I've got Cannonball, Unhuman Cannonball, Magic 8 Ball, and Salty Kiss Lime. That they all come in as 5 stars for me.
Wow.
And then to finish up, and this probably goes back to what we said on the particular show at the time. Just shows the quality of some of the homebrews that I've tried. That I've got 2 homebrews in there as well that I've rated at 5 stars. So one of them by Crema, and it was their Red Snow Rye. Yeah. Which I believe we did on the homebrew special. In fact, I think we did both of these on homebrew special. And then the other one was Andy Parker Stroke Elusive Brews Simcoe Citra Big Dipper. Yep. I had both of those down as 5. So that's my list of 5-star beers that I've drunk during the year.
Okay, well I'm going to give you a quick tour of my Untapped list, and I'm just going to pick out the beers that I remember as being ones that I particularly enjoyed. Hold tight, ladies and gentlemen. Right, the original Pale Ale from Cooper's Brewery in Australia. That was very nice. Fat Sprat by Adnams. I had that off tap, and it was quite enjoyable, I thought. Bethnal Pale Ale by Red Church. I'm trying not to include one that we've reviewed this season. Oh, Broadland Sunrise from the Humpty Dumpty Brewery, who are up near Norwich. That's the one, Steve. If you're going to get a beer from up that way, get that one. That was gorgeous. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. What else? Honker's Ale from Goose Island. That was very nice. Oh, the 312 Urban Wheat Ale from Goose Island was actually really nice for a wheat ale. And let's keep going down the list. Oh, the Organic Chocolate Stout from Samuel Smith. I never thought I'd ever say I'd like a Samuel Smith beer, but we had that on the Beer O'Clock show beer tour that we did with the gentleman whose name I can't remember. Vic Norman from his Dragon and Flagon pub tours. And I remember standing outside and he's saying, "This is a Samuel Smith pub," and he looked at me and went, "Mark, I'm sorry."
There was actually an audible groan from the crowd as well at that point, I think.
But he said, if you go in and you want to try one of the beers, have the chocolate stout. And so I took him up on that. And that was absolutely gorgeous. It's the only time I've ever had a chocolate stout that actually tasted like chocolate. Like proper like chocolate. Anyway, moving on. The Wolf's Coat from Buxton, that's what we had at that little beer thing that we went to in East London.
Yes.
That weird
I can't
place.
believe I didn't put that on my list.
Nor can I, my friend. Nor can I.
That must have only come in at a 4.5 for some strange reason.
And I had a Magic Rock one here somewhere. Can't believe I've lost it. Oh, a High Wire. That was nice. The most recent one that I've really enjoyed is the Kipling from Thornbridge, New Zealand Pale Ale that we had in that pub that I mentioned it just earlier.
That you still can't remember the name of.
I can't remember the name of.
Southampton Arms.
Southampton Arms and Gospel Oak. I can remember the Gospel Oak bit. Those are my beers for this year.
I would suggest from that then, and there's no bias in this whatsoever, but clearly Magic Rock are the winners this year because I had 4 on my list and you had 1. So that gives them 5 overall. I know that they're a particular favourite of mine, but there's just something about the whole branding, the whole style of their beers, the fact that they keep churning out consistently good beers. Just makes me want to go back for more.
Yeah, they're one of these breweries that I'd never heard of before this year, and it obviously was from you raving about them, but I don't think I've been disappointed by one of their beers yet.
Well, if I'm honest, I probably didn't come across them until the whole Unhuman Cannibal thing, and when we nearly missed that, and then all of a sudden I just started seeing their beers everywhere and seeing people raving about them, and I was like, I've got to get on this. I've got to get on the magic bus and have some of that.
Get on the magic bus.
Indeed.
Pouring out the rest of my pint.
How's the beer doing now? It's I'm finding it's easing just ever so slightly as it's beginning to warm.
I'm warming up, that's for sure. Reliving Unhuman Cannibal memories are coming flooding back. Whew. So we have another. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, it's still coming across as very bitter.
It is.
The aroma's died down now. It's been in the glass for a bit, and it's had a little bit of time to air. The bitterness is still there, but whether it's that I'm getting more used to it, my palate's getting more used to it, my face is becoming gradually more numb, so I can't actually taste anything, or that it's just actually getting better as it warms. I'm not sure which of those four it is yet. Maybe we'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah, I'm finding that the bitterness has lessened a little bit as it's gotten warmer. It's still very nice and clean on the palate, though. It's not sticky like you would expect with the black beer. It's very nice. Anyway, shall we have another clip from the weekend?
Yes, let's.
This is from Johnny. Now, who's Johnny?
Johnny is from the Craft Beer channel.
Oh, yeah, lovely little fella.
I'm
sorry, he won't mind me calling him a little fella.
On Twitter.
Yeah, he's one of these YouTube fellas, isn't he?
Yeah, local boy as well.
Oh, yeah, he was
from the area.
Yeah, very nice chap indeed. He is again from the Camden Town Brewery.
I'm not sure this is just him. I think this is him, and I think I pulled Chris into this interview as well because I think this is where there was a bit of a disagreement over the triple.
Okay. Well, let's have a listen to that then and see if they go fisticuffs.
So, with Johnny from Craft Beer Channel. Johnny, where are we and what are you drinking?
We're at Camden Town and I'm drinking the Belgian Triple, a Christmas special.
What do you think of it?
Contrary, apparently, to the perceived opinion. There are triples I'd rather drink. I think it's nice. I think that there's a slightly meaty, savoury finish that I'm not wild about. It finishes very dry, and with a Chimay or with a Duvel, it never quite the sweetness never fails. And with a Belgian, I want to be a little bit sweet.
Okay, and Chris is still with us, and I can see he's chomping at the bit to get in here and have a counter opinion. What have you got to say about that, Chris?
I don't necessarily disagree with Johnny's opinion, but it's quite nice that it's not overly sweet. There's a lot of triples, and the ones that Johnny mentioned are very nice, and I really enjoy them as well. But I think as a something that Camden have done, trying to sort of stamp their own sort of mark on it. It's not a bad go, but
I do.
could do with a bit of a refinement.
I actually agree with what you're saying, and that there's a very Camden finish to it. It's a slightly similar finish to the pale. It sort of makes you thirsty for another gulp kind of thing because it's left at the back of your throat.
Yeah.
But in terms of the style, that shouldn't quite be what a triple is about. It should be a slowly drinking from a big glass. Whereas I'm drinking this from a half stein. I'm drinking a triple from a half stein with a really bitter finish. It's just a little bit weird for me.
Right. Let's continue on with the beer chatter while we try and finish off this beer. Not that it's a struggle, but it's a struggle.
It's a struggle, even for me to do it in the length of time that we do the show. It's a struggle because this is clearly one of those beers that is designed to be enjoyed over a much longer period of time.
Yeah, indeed. Let's look back at season 3. Now, season 3 was our American. I've got to get my words out properly. It's a season that we decided that we would dedicate to various beers from the American market, interspersed with local favourites and other little supermarket staples and bits like that. So we had a number of American beers, and I just want to say a thank you to Ales by Mail, who put together a lovely Beer O'Clock Show box that you can still get, by the way, I think, that had the selected beers from the American side of the beer list in the box. People could buy it and then they could fill the rest of the box out with other beers if they wanted to. But we had a variety of beers, some that you can get quite easily, some less so easily, and that's where Ales by Mail really came in for us. So shall I just run through the beers that we've done this season, mate?
Okay.
Right, we had Goose Island IPA, Harvest Dune Chialion, Hard Knot Infrared, Odell 5 Barrel Pale Ale, Marks & Spencer's Citra IPA, Snake Dog IPA, Red Rocket Ale, our homebrew special, Sierra Nevada Bigfoot Ale, Fuller's 2012 Vintage Ale, the Rogue Mocha Porter, and last episode's Signature Brews Black Tongue. So, Steve?
Yes?
Out of the American beers, which would have been Goose Island IPA, Hard Knot Infrared,
Hard Knot's a UK beer, mate.
Oh, is it? Okay, skip that.
Yeah.
Odell 5 Barrel Pale Ale, Snake Dog IPA, Red Rocket Ale, Sierra Nevada Bigfoot Ale, Kona Fire Rock, and the Rogue Mocha Porter. Which ones were your favourite?
I would say, and I've actually got these ranked as well, quite sadly. In third place, I'm going to do it in reverse order. In third place for me was the Kona Rock, Kona Fire Rock Pale Ale. That was a real stunner for me. Really surprising. Didn't have a lot of hopes in that one. The bottle looked a little bit, the labelling looked a little bit cheap. It looked a little bit Aldi-ish. It was a pale ale. I wasn't really expecting too much from it. But from the moment it kind of went into the glass, it just had a really special look about it. And I remember the aroma being something quite pleasing as well.
Yep.
And I just remember it being so refreshing and crisp. So for me, that would be my number 3. At number 2 was the Bear Republic Red Rocket Ale, which I absolutely loved. I thought it had a really kind of toffee caramelized flavour to it, really sweet. Really enjoyed the hops that were there in the background and the aroma and the look of it. Just a real stunner for me, that one. But the out and out winner of the American beers in this series for me was the Odell 5 Barrel Pale Ale, because there was just something about it that all of the various ways which they'd used the hop in it just all come together to create this perfect, and perfect's a strong word to be using considering that didn't appear on my best beers of the year, on a very good beer that was just, I remember it being eminently quaffable, but at the same time having a really pleasing hop character to it and a really pleasant bittersweet finish. So for me, they would be the 3 standout US brews that we've done.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on those three, but I'm going to put the Cone of Fire Rock as top. Because from what I remember, and I might have my beers wrong, you never know, but the Cone of Fire Rock had that kind of slightly fruity, mango-y type edge to it, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes.
Yeah, and I remember that. I mean, yeah, that was gorgeous. I remember raving about it to some guys I know on Twitter who were asking after it, who don't listen to the show, obviously. But yeah, beautiful beer. I didn't mind the Bigfoot Ale either. That wasn't too bad.
I found that quite hard going. I think it probably would have benefited from having been aged for a bit.
Yeah, but yeah, I wasn't expecting very much from that at all, considering it's quote unquote barley wine style. The disappointment of the season, Snake Dog IPA for me.
Yes, I'd agree. It wasn't what I was hoping it would be. Disappointment's a strong word to use, but I'm a little bit upset that tonight's beer didn't crack into that top three as well, because I think I had high hopes for the Stone Sublimely Self-Righteous tonight, considering that the brewery have on a number of occasions been voted by various internet forums and magazines the world's best brewery. And I've had some of their other stuff as well, and it's all got this kind of really dry, hoppy characteristic to it. But I think I was just hoping for something more along the lines of the collaboration that they did with Adnams, but then obviously can understand why that might have been toned down a little for the UK market. But I mean, I'm beginning to enjoy it now, but then after God knows how much we've had of it, at the percentage that it's at, it's you'd be enjoying anything by this point of the evening, wouldn't you?
Indeedy. Talking of enjoying, let's have a clip. This is from a home brewer. He's on Twitter, Daz Oakley. He was a lovely bloke. Obviously very much into his beer. And we've got a clip from him from the Brewdog in Camden.
Brewdog Camden, here with Darren Oakley at Daz Oakley on Twitter. What are you drinking and what do you think of it?
Drinking a Brewdog Interstellar, part of their prototype challenge for this year. Really not impressed. It's a nice rye beer, but I've drunk way better and kind of expect more from Brewdog.
Just say thanks to Darren at this point as well, who did leave me with 2 bottles of his homebrew as well. One of which will be heading your way next time I see you, mate.
Cool. I might have to drive down and see you over Christmas.
I'm around, so I'll probably be, to coin a phrase and to, at the same time kind of promote our blog, I'll probably be wallowing in a vat of ale somewhere over Christmas with one of my 12 beers of Christmas, all surrounded by all these empty bottles.
Yeah, I just have these pictures of you in a wading pool in the middle of winter out in your backyard, just full of beer, just swimming around.
Yeah, it's the only way sometimes.
Oh, dearie me. So, this beer, it's getting
let's
tough,
have another
man.
crack at it, shall we?
I'm really sorry, but there's not much to it. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but these heavily hopped American beers, I think I've got hop burnout, to be honest. I saw earlier tonight, Duty and Andy Parker were discussing some various beers, or how they're planning a final homebrew, because they're both homebrewers, planning a final brew before Christmas, because they've both got a lot of ingredients left. And I was half tempted to tweet them and say, just make a very slightly sweet, very slightly fruity, lower ABV, lovely golden ale, and I will love you forever. Because they're all talking about, I think I'm going to do the double IPA next. Yeah, I'm doing an IPA as well. Leave the hops alone.
I think that trend might come soon. I've been reading a lot of blogs recently that are suggesting that the last few years there's been certain trends towards certain things, and that went from everyone loved IPA, and then everyone loved double IPA, and then everyone loved black IPA, and then it was saisons, and then it was sours, and people are saying, well, what's next? Why can't somebody just come out and make a really good English bitter? And I don't know whether that's the next thing that maybe we need to scale it back a little bit and let some of the other flavours do the work.
Yeah. I will say, you just mentioned a saison there. The Duty's Saison Monarch that we had on the homebrew special was again one of my favourite beers from the year. That was beautiful light beer. Very drinkable. Beer. It was great.
I wish we had done that in the summer actually, because that would have been up there as almost a perfect summer beer, I think.
Definitely. Yeah. Good work, Mike. He's a lovely little fella as well.
He is.
Can put him in your pocket. Oh, and poor fella, he was carrying a bag full of bottles around on Saturday and one of the straps was broken. So he was perpetually half a mile behind us when we were walking from pub to pub because he had so much. He was carrying his own weight in that bag full of bottles, I think.
He was glad to empty that bag when he got the opportunity. That's
Oh, let's get our final clip in from the weekend, just to get them out the way. This is from a guy that I didn't know about before the weekend. I'm sure he's someone that you know on Twitter. It's Rich from the Beer for the Year blog. Extremely likeable bloke. He stuck with you to the end.
He did.
Here's a clip.
Me and Rich. All the way over the crate.
And here's a clip from earlier in that night. It's from Brewdog in Camden again. Obviously, Steve got a bit too tipsy to be bothered about recording after Brewdog. So here's the final clip.
With Richard at Beer for the Year in Brewdog Camden. What are you drinking right now, Richard?
So what I'm drinking now is the Interstellar by Brewdog. So it's one of their prototype beers, and it's probably the best out of the three that I've tried. It's got a good hop taste and not so bitter. So over the last year, I've been trying to drink 365 different beers in a year. So I started in January and I reached my challenge in about September. And currently I'm on about 479 different beers.
That's some pretty impressive going. And where do you hope to go from this evening? Where do you want to go next from here in terms of what you want to try?
I just want to carry on trying different beers, just finding different breweries, different beers, just carrying on to see how far I can go. I know there's about 5,000 different beers in the UK to try and more around the world, so just a case of carrying on and trying different beers.
Excellent. And if people want to follow what you're doing, where can they follow you, mate?
They can follow me at my blog, which is beerfortheyear.wordpress.com, or on Twitter at beerfortheyear.
Great stuff. Thank you.
Right, that's it. We've still got a little bit of this beer left, mate.
Yes.
Oh, I'm getting full though.
You know what? So am I. I think. I hate to say it. I'm wondering whether I'm going to struggle to finish this.
I'll tell you what.
Tonight.
I'm going to give you a final review of this beer. Very light piney notes to it, right? That immediate bitterness that you get from when you first start drinking it, which comes in waves upon waves of bitterness into your mouth across your palate, that eases off as you get further down the bottle, but it consistently leaves a really nice fresh taste in your mouth, which is that fresh piney mouthfeel to it. And it's not a bad beer, it's just that there's not much there to it. There's really slight roasted malt feeling to it, midway in the palate, but you can't really get a sense of it. And this started off cold for me, but now it's quite warmed up. I'm still not getting much of that. It's getting compared to when we first started drinking it, it's now a little bit more body to it. It's still got that fresh after feel. That's basically my review. I was hoping for another Unhuman Cannibal, as in a really wow of a beer, but this is just it seems like an excuse to use excessive hops. Not much more character beyond that. People are probably wanting to lynch me now. I'm sure Stone do amazing beers, and I look forward to tasting some more of them, but I'm a little disappointed with this one. And now I'm going to scold the rest.
And for once, I'm actually not going to add anything to that because I think you've once again summed that up perfectly. I'd say no more, and I'm clearly just filling why you finished necking your drink. I just agree with I just agree with everything you said there, mate. It's I'm disappointed. I was hoping for a little bit more. I'm sure I'm doing it now. I'm speaking over your review. No, it's done. Fini.
Here's a challenge to people for 2014, and a challenge to brewers: embrace your summer ales. Embrace the golden ales. Stop thinking that hops is everything. Stop thinking that roasted malts is everything. Embrace your flavours. Embrace the variety in your palate. Yeah, there you go. Hire Duty. Give Duty a job in your brewery and just let him make his saison. Please. I want to drink that commercially. But there's so many great beers out there. There's a whole variety of flavours. And it really does seem that the whole double IPA, black IPA movement has moved people a bit more towards basically you run the hop marathon and at the end there's nothing left and you've just exhausted your palate because the hops and the bitterness just take over everything. And we get to the point where how hoppy can I make this beer? I mean, this is everyone who listens to the show knows that I don't like my excessively hoppy beers. I don't like my excessive roasted malts beers. I like my nice golden ales and my nice summery beers. That's what I want. And I know that you've been inundating me with American beers this entire season, and maybe my hop exhaustion is because of that. For fuck's sake, Steve, give me some golden ales next year, mate.
Mate, we'll scale it back. We'll scale it back for next season, and we'll start doing some. I've already got pretty much 50% of the beer list sorted.
But I know you're on a real stout kick lately. I'm going to have nothing but black beers next year, aren't I?
Yeah, no. See, because I've been looking at the 12 beers that I'm doing as part of the 12 beers of Christmas event, and I actually had a good look at them yesterday, and I was like, fuck, how many more stouts do I want in here? And I think come the end of that, I'm going to be completely and utterly stouted out, and I think when I get back off of my dry January, I'm just maybe we just need to get back to basics a little bit, mate, and just give some of the supermarket staples a go next season, and just throw in a few just really good craft beers that just taste good rather than hot bombs.
Yep, everyone should do themselves a favour. Get a Broadland Sunrise from Humpty Dumpty Brewery. That's the beer for me. Enjoy the flavours. Enjoy the lightness. Enjoy the drinkability. Enjoy something you can put pint after pint after pint down you, and you're not going to completely exhaust your taste buds.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
Controversy over. Oh, dearie me. That's it for me. Anything else you want to mention, Steve, before we finish off?
Considering this is our last show before the next show, obviously, and considering the next show won't actually be out until something like the 7th of February, if all goes to plan. On the 8th of February is our next live event.
Oh, yeah.
Which is Stop the Press, Sit Down, not in London.
What?
Okay. When I say we, I'm talking the royal we, because I know you can't make it, Mark, and I know I'm only able to do it because I'm there on business and I'm able to tie a few things up. Saturday, the 8th of February, 2014, we are doing the Sheffield Crawl.
Oh my goodness.
That's about as much as I've got for you right now, because we're still in the planning stages. We've got about 5 or 6 pubs that we're thinking of doing. We're trying to line up a bit of a brewery tour as well as well as that. We've got a few people advising us on which are the best pubs to go to in the town. Hopefully, what we'll do is either before Christmas, or if not before Christmas, certainly before the New Year, there'll be some information up on the website. Yeah. Mark's looking at me as if to say, "Will there?"
Yeah, they will.
And now he's nodding. much like we did with the Christmas one, we'll get some information up so you at least know what the pubs are that we're going to, with some links to their sites, a rough start time, and then once we've got everything confirmed, we'll sort out a little booking page for you as well. If we do a brewery tour, there might be a cost attached, but I'm trying to talk to a couple of breweries at the moment about how we can bring that cost down for our listeners. So keep an eye out for more details about the Sheffield Crawl on the website very, very soon.
Yeah, and there won't be a cost for the actual tour itself, the crawl itself. There will be more than likely a cost for the pub tour, for the brewery tour, rather. But like Stephen said, there'll be full details on the website. Especially in the new year, you'll get like a full whack of details. But keep looking on the website, beeroclockshow.co.uk, and follow along Twitter at beeroclockshow. And Steve will be posting details as and when he confirms them.
Yes, as you can expect our Twitter feed to be awash with 3 things in January. Me begging for money for Buy Me a Pint triathlon campaign. The Sheffield Crawl and how you can go about booking that, and then probably the third one is going to be how much I want a beer, and that will probably start at about 5 o'clock on the 1st of January, because I'm envisaging a few tough days at the beginning of my challenge.
I shall also be doing a dry January, and this year I hope to last beyond the 4th. I might last until the 6th, which is my first day back at work.
Brilliant. So nice to know that I've got your support.
I'll be buying you a pint, mate. I'll be buying you a pint. And just to reiterate on that, keep your eye on Twitter for details of Steve's little fundraising expedition in January. It is for Cancer Research UK. If you're not in the UK, Cancer Research UK are basically the largest... Are they public funder? They're a non-government funder of scientific research in the UK. And they do a load of work. They do a load of public service information on cancer, all types of cancer. They fund all types of cancer research. I used to work for a science research organisation that got funding from cancer research, and without them, a lot of this research in the country isn't possible because it is so bloody expensive. And Steve, I commend you on what you're doing, mate. And
thank you.
Thank you very much for doing this on behalf of the show and on behalf of people everywhere whose lives have no doubt been touched by cancer in some way or another. Anyway, enough of that. So, end of the season. Dude.
Yes, mate. It's been
it's almost
an
Christmas.
Absolute pleasure.
It has
every
been.
week on recording night is, I say it every time, it's the highlight of my week.
Yeah. It's
Christmas. Got 12 beers of Christmas coming up, which by the time you're listening to this would have already started. So just have a look at our website for that. I'm looking forward to the break, but I'm equally looking forward to that first week of February when we can get back on the air with season 4.
Oh yeah! I did my little Steve is a God sob story a couple of episodes ago on episode 50, so I won't do all that again. Just to say, it's been a pleasure again, mate. It's a pleasure doing a podcast with you. And to everyone who listens, I hope you have a very merry and very safe Christmas and a most joyous and beer-filled New Year. Thank you very much.